FC Barcelona. In today's video we'll learn about FC Barcelona. Going through the sections: abstract, history, support, club rivalries, ownership and finances, records, kits and crest, stadium, honors, players, personnel, management, external links. Abstract. Football Club Barcelona, commonly referred to as Barcelona and colloquially known as Barça, is a Spanish professional football club based in Barcelona, that competes in La Liga, the top flight of Spanish football. Founded in 1899 by a group of Swiss, Spanish, English, and Catalan footballers led by Joan Gamper, the club has become a symbol of Catalan culture and Catalanism, hence the motto Més que un club, more than a club. Unlike many other football clubs, the supporters own and operate Barcelona. It is the fourth most valuable sports team in the world, worth $4.06 billion, and the world's richest football club in terms of revenue, with an annual turnover of $840.8 million. The official Barcelona anthem is the Cant del Barça, written by Jaume Picas and Josep Maria Espens. Barcelona traditionally play in dark shades of blue and red stripes, leading to the nickname Blaugrana. Domestically, Barcelona has won a record 74 trophies, 26 La Liga, 30 Copa del Rey, 13 Supercopa d'Espanya, 3 Copa Eva Duarte, and 2 Copa de la Liga trophies, as well as being the record holder for the latter 4 competitions. In international club football, the club has won 20 European and worldwide titles, 5 UEFA Champions League titles, a record 4 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, a joint record 5 UEFA Super Cup, a record 3 Intercities Fairs Cup, and 3 FIFA Club World Cup. Barcelona was ranked first in the International Federation of Football History and Statistics Club World Ranking for 1997, 2009, 2011, 2012, and 2015 and currently occupies the second position on the UEFA Club Rankings. The club has a long-standing rivalry with Real Madrid, and matches between the two teams are referred to as El Clásico. Barcelona is one of the most widely supported teams in the world, and the club has one of the largest social media following in the world among sports teams. Barcelona players have won a record number of Ballon d'Or awards, 12, with recipients including Johan Cruyff, as well as a record number of FIFA World Player of the Year awards, 7, with winners including Ronaldo, Romario, Ronaldinho, and Rivaldo. In 2010, 3 players who came through the club's youth academy, Lionel Messi, Andrés Iniesta, and Xavi, were chosen as the 3 best players in the world in the FIFA Ballon d'Or Awards, an unprecedented feat for players from the same football school. Additionally, players representing the club have won a record number, 8, of European Golden Shoe Awards. Barcelona is one of 3 founding members of the Primera División that have never been relegated from the top division since its inception in 1929, along with Athletic Bilbao and Real Madrid. In 2009, Barcelona became the first Spanish club to win the continental treble consisting of La Liga, Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League, and also became the first Spanish football club to win 6 out of 6 competitions in a single year, by also winning the Spanish Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, and FIFA Club World Cup. In 2011, the club became European champions again and won 5 trophies. This Barcelona team, which won 14 trophies in just 4 years under Pep Guardiola, is considered by some in the sport to be the greatest team of all time. By winning their 5th Champions League trophy on June 6, 2015, Barcelona became the first European football club in history to achieve the continental treble twice. The highest paid sports team in the world. In November 2018, Barcelona became the first sports team with average first-team pay in excess of 10 meters, $13.8 million, per year. This project compresses information gathered from Wikipedia in video format. Why should I watch it? Studies prove that reading while listening improves comprehension, increases speed as well as expands vocabulary and enhances fluency. Provide your feedback on the comments section. Support the channel by subscribing and liking the video. Thanks. History. On October 22, 1899, Hans Gamper placed an advertisement in Los Deportes declaring his wish to form a football club. A positive response resulted in a meeting at the Gimnasio Sal on 29 November. 11 players attended: Walter Wild, Listos, Bartomeu Terradas, Otto Kunzel, Otto Meyer, Enrique Ducal, Pierre Cabot, Carlos Pujol, Josep Llobet, John Parsons, and William Parsons and Football Club Barcelona was born. FC Barcelona had a successful start in regional and national cups, competing in the Campionat de Catalunya and the Copa del Rey. In 1902, the club won its first trophy, the Copa Macaya, and participated in the first Copa del Rey, losing 12 to Vizcaya in the final. In 1908, Hans Gamper, now known as Joan Gamper, became club president in a desperate attempt to save Barcelona from extinction, finding the club struggling not just on the pitch, but also financially and socially, after not winning a competition since the Campionat de Catalunya in 1905. He said in a meeting, "Barcelona cannot die and must not die. If there is nobody who is going to try, then I will assume the responsibility of running the club from now on." Club president on 5 separate occasions between 1908 and 1925, he spent 25 years in total at the helm. One of his main achievements was ensuring Barça acquire its own stadium and thus generate a stable income. On March 14, 1909, the team moved into the Camp de la Industria, a stadium with a capacity of 8,000. To celebrate their new surroundings, the club conducted a logo contest the following year. Carlos Comamala won the contest, and his suggestion became the crest that the club still wears, with some minor changes as of the present day. With the new stadium, Barcelona participated in the inaugural version of the Pyrenees Cup, which, at the time, consisted of the best teams of Languedoc, Midi and Aquitaine, southern France, the Basque Country and Catalonia. All were former members of the Marca Hispanica region. The contest was the most prestigious in that era. From the inaugural year in 1910 to 1913, Barcelona won the competition 4 consecutive times. Carlos Comamala played an integral part of the 4-time champion, managing the side along with Amekazura and Jack Greenwell. The latter became the club's first full-time coach in 1917. The last edition was held in 1914 in the city of Barcelona, which local rivals Espanyol won. During the same period, the club changed its official language from Castilian to Catalan and gradually evolved into an important symbol of Catalan identity. For many fans, participating in the club had less to do with the game itself and more with being a part of the club's collective identity. On February 4, 1917, the club held its first testimonial match to honor Ram Torralba, who played from 1913 to 1928. The match was against local side Terrassa, where Barcelona won the match 62. Gamper simultaneously launched a campaign to recruit more club members, and by 1922, the club had more than 20,000. Ho helped finance a new stadium. The club then moved to the new Les Cortes, which they inaugurated the same year. Les Cortes had an initial capacity of 30,000, and in the 1940s it was expanded to 60,000. Gamper recruited Jack Greenwell as the first full-time manager in Barcelona's history. After this hiring, the club's fortunes began to improve on the field. During the Gamper-led era, Barcelona won 11 Campionats de Catalunya, 6 Copa del Rey and 4 Pyrenees Cups, and enjoyed its first golden age. On June 14, 1925, in a spontaneous reaction against Primo de Rivera's dictatorship, the crowd in the stadium jeered the Royal March. As a reprisal, the ground was closed for 6 months and Gamper was forced to relinquish the presidency of the club. This coincided with the transition to professional football, and, in 1926, the directors of Barcelona publicly claimed, for the first time, to operate a professional football club. On July 3, 1927, the club held a second testimonial match for Paulino Alcantara, against the Spanish national team. To kick off the match, local journalist and pilot Josep Canutas dropped the ball onto the pitch from his airplane. In 1928, victory in the Spanish Cup was celebrated with a poem titled the Da Platco, which was written by a member of the generation of 27, Rafael Alberti, inspired by the heroic performance of the Barcelona goalkeeper, Franz Platco. On June 23, 1929, Barcelona won the inaugural Spanish League. A year after winning the championship, on July 30, 1930, Gamper committed suicide after a period of depression brought on by personal and financial problems. Although they continued to have players of the standing of Josep Pascal, the club now entered a period of decline, in which political conflict overshadowed sports throughout society. Attendance at matches dropped as the citizens of Barcelona were occupied with discussing political matters. Although the team won the Campionat de Catalunya in 1930, 1931, 1932, 1934, 1936 and 1938, success at a national level, with the exception of the 1937 disputed title, evaded them. A month after the Spanish Civil War began in 1936, several players from Barcelona enlisted in the ranks of those who fought against the military uprising, along with players from Athletic Bilbao. On 6 August, Falangist soldiers near Guadarrama murdered club president Josep Sunyol, a representative of the pro-independence political party. He was dubbed the Martyr of Barcelonism, and his murder was a defining moment in the history of FC Barcelona and Catalan identity. In the summer of 1937, the squad was on tour in Mexico and the United States, where it was received as an ambassador of the Second Spanish Republic. The tour led to the financial security of the club, but also resulted in half of the team seeking asylum in Mexico and France, making it harder for the remaining team to contest for trophies. On March 16, 1938, Barcelona came under aerial bombardment from the Italian Air Force, causing more than 3,000 deaths, with one of the bombs hitting the club's offices. A few months later, Catalonia came under occupation, and as a symbol of the undisciplined Catalanism, the club, now down to just 3,486 members, faced a number of restrictions. All signs of regional nationalism, including language, flag and other signs of separatism, were banned throughout Spain. The Catalan flag was banned and the club were prohibited from using non-Spanish names. These measures forced the club to change its name to Club de Futbol Barcelona and to remove the Catalan flag from its crest. In 1943, Barcelona faced rivals Real Madrid in the semi-finals of Copa del Generalissimo. The first match at Les Corts was won by Barcelona 30. Real Madrid comfortably won the second leg, beating Barcelona 111. According to football writer Sid Lowe, there have been relatively few mentions of the game and it is not a result that has been particularly celebrated in Madrid. Indeed, the 111 occupies a far more prominent place in Barcelona's history. This was the game that first formed the identification of Madrid as the team of the dictatorship and Barcelona as its victims. It has been alleged by local journalist Paco Aguilar that Barcelona's players were threatened by police in the changing room, though nothing was ever proven. Despite the difficult political situation, CF Barcelona enjoyed considerable success during the 1940s and 1950s. In 1945, with Josep Samitier as coach and players like Czar, Ramallets, and Velasco, they won La Liga for the first time since 1929. They added 2 more titles in 1948 and 1949. In 1949, they also won the first Copa Latina. In June 1950, Barcelona signed LSCL Kabala, who was to be an important figure at the club. On a rainy Sunday of 1951, the crowd left Les Corts Stadium after a 21 win against Santander by foot, refusing to catch any trams, and surprising the Francoist authorities. The reason was simple: at the same time, a tram strike was taking place in Barcelona, receiving the support of Blaugrana fans. Events like this made CF Barcelona represent much more than just Catalonia, and many progressive Spaniards saw the club as a staunch defender of rights and freedoms. Coach Ferdinand Dauch and LSCL Kabala led the team to 5 different trophies, including La Liga, the Copa del Generalissimo, the Copa Latina, the Copa Eva Duarte, and the Copa Martini Rossi in 1952. In 1953, the club won La Liga and the Copa del Generalissimo again. With Helenio Herrera as coach, a young Luis Suárez, the European Footballer of the Year in 1960, and 2 influential Hungarians recommended by Kabala, Snderkoxis, and Zoltán Zibor, the team won another national double in 1959 and a La Liga and Fairs Cup double in 1960. In 1961, they became the first club to beat Real Madrid in a European Cup playoff. However, they lost 23 to Benfica in the final. The 1960s were less successful for the club, with Real Madrid monopolizing La Liga. The completion of the Camp Nou, finished in 1957, meant the club had little money to spend on new players. The 1960s saw the emergence of Josep Maria Fust and Carles Reixach, and the club won the Copa del Generalissimo in 1963 and the Fairs Cup in 1966. Barcelona restored some pride by beating Real Madrid 10 in the 1968 Copa del Generalissimo final at the Santiago Bernabéu in front of Francisco Franco, with coach Salvador Artigas, a former Republican pilot in the Civil War. With the end of Franco's dictatorship in 1974, the club changed its official name back to Futbol Club Barcelona and reverted the crest to its original design, including the original letters once again. The 197,374 season saw the arrival of Johan Cruyff, who was bought for a world record $920,000 from Ajax. Already an established player with Ajax, Cruyff quickly won over the Barcelona fans when he told the European press that he chose Barcelona over Real Madrid because he could not play for a club associated with Francisco Franco. He further endeared himself when he named his son Jordi, after the local Catalan St. George. Next to champions like Juan Manuel Asensi, Carlos Reixach, and Hugo Sodal, he helped the club win the 197,374 season for the first time since 1960, defeating Real Madrid 50 at the Santiago Bernabéu en route. He was crowned European Footballer of the Year in 1973 during his first season with Barcelona. Cruyff received this prestigious award a third time in 1974, while he was still with Barcelona. In 1978, Josep Luis Nez became the first elected president of FC Barcelona, and, since then, the members of Barcelona have elected the club president. The process of electing a president of FC Barcelona was closely tied to Spain's transition to democracy in 1974 and the end of Franco's dictatorship. The new president's main objective was to develop Barcelona into a world-class club by giving it stability both on and off the pitch. His presidency was to last for 22 years, and it deeply affected the image of Barcelona, as Nez held to a strict policy regarding wages and discipline, letting go of such players as Diego Maradona, Romario and Ronaldo rather than meeting their demands. On May 16, 1979, the club won its first European Cup Winners' Cup by beating Fortuna Düsseldorf 43 in Basel in a final watched by more than 30,000 traveling Blaugrana fans. The same year, Nez began to invest in the club's youth program by converting La Masia into a dormitory for young academy players from abroad. The name of the dormitory would later become synonymous with the youth program of Barcelona. In June 1982, Diego Maradona was signed for a world record fee of $5 million from Boca Juniors. In the following season, under coach Sir Luis Menotti, Barcelona won the Copa del Rey, beating Real Madrid. Maradona's time with Barcelona, however, was short-lived and he soon left for Napoli. At the start of the 198,485 season, Terry Venables was hired as manager and he won La Liga with noteworthy displays by German midfielder Bernd Schuster. The next season, he took the team to their second European Cup final, only to lose on penalties to Steaua Bucuresti during a dramatic evening in Seville. Around this time, tensions began to arise between what was perceived as President Nez's dictatorial rule and the nationalistic support group, Boyos Noise. The group, identified with a left-wing separatism, repeatedly demanded the resignation of Nez and openly defied him through chants and banners at matches. At the same time, Barcelona experienced an eruption in skinheads, who often identified with a right-wing separatism. The skinheads slowly transferred the Boyos Noise ideology from liberalism to fascism, which caused division within the group and a sudden support for Nez's presidency. Inspired by British hooligans, the remaining Boyos Noise became violent, causing havoc leading to large-scale arrests. After the 1986 FIFA World Cup, Barcelona signed the English top scorer Gary Lineker, along with goalkeeper Andoni Zubizarreta, but the team could not achieve success, as Schuster was excluded from the team. Terry Venables was subsequently fired at the beginning of the 198,788 season and replaced with Luis Aragonés. The season finished with the players rebelling against President Nez, in an event known as the Hesperia Mutiny, and a 10 victory in the Copa del Rey final against Real Sociedad. In 1988, Johan Cruyff returned to the club, this time as manager, and he assembled what would later be dubbed the Dream Team. He used a mix of Spanish players like Pep Guardiola, Joseph Mari Baquero, John Andoni Goicoechea, Miguel Angel Nadal and Chiqui Begiristain, while signing international players such as Ronald Koeman, Michael Laudrup, Romario, and Hristo Stoichkov. It was 10 years after the inception of the youth program, La Masia, when the young players began to graduate and play for their first team. One of the first graduates, who would later earn international acclaim, was future Barcelona coach Pep Guardiola. Under Cruyff's guidance, Barcelona won 4 consecutive La Liga titles from 1991 to 1994. They beat Sampdoria in both the 1989 UEFA Cup Winners' Cup final and the 1992 European Cup final at Wembley, with a free-kick goal from Dutch international Ronald Koeman. They also won a Copa del Rey in 1990, the European Super Cup in 1992 and 3 Supercopa da Espanha trophies. With 11 trophies, Cruyff became the club's most successful manager at that point. He also became the club's longest consecutive serving manager, serving 8 years. Cruyff's fortune was to change, and, in his final 2 seasons, he failed to win any trophies and fell out with President Josep Snes, resulting in his departure. On the legacy of Cruyff's football philosophy and the passing style of play he introduced to the club, future coach of Barcelona Pep Guardiola would state, "Cruyff built the cathedral, our job is to maintain and renovate it." Reacting to Cruyff's departure, an independent protest group was organized by Armand Carabe, Joan Laporta and Alphonse Godel. The objective of the group, called L'Éléphant Blanc, was to oppose the presidency of Nez, which they regarded as a corruption of the club's traditional values. Laporta would later take over the presidency of Barcelona in 2003. Cruyff was briefly replaced by Bobby Robson, who took charge of the club for a single season in 199,697. He recruited Ronaldo for a world record transfer fee from his previous club, PSV, and delivered a cup treble, winning the Copa del Rey, UEFA Cup Winners' Cup and the Supercopa de España, with Ronaldo registering 47 goals in 49 games. Despite his success, Robson was only ever seen as a short-term solution while the club waited for Louis van Gaal to become available. Like Maradona, Ronaldo only stayed a short time before he left for Inter Milan in another world record transfer. However, new heroes emerged, such as Luis Figo, Patrick Kluivert, Luis Enrique, and Rivaldo, and the team won a Copa del Rey and La Liga double in 1998. In 1999, the club celebrated its centenary, winning the Primera División title, and Rivaldo became the 4th Barcelona player to be awarded European Footballer of the Year. Despite this domestic success, the failure to emulate Real Madrid in the Champions League led to Van Gaal and Nez resigning in 2000. The departures of Nez and Van Gaal were hardly noticed by the fans when compared to that of Luis Figo, then club vice-captain. Figo had become a cult hero and was considered by Catalans to be one of their own. Barcelona fans, however, were distraught by Figo's decision to join archrivals Real Madrid, and, during subsequent visits to the Camp Nou, Figo was given an extremely hostile reception. Upon his first return, a piglet's head and a full bottle of whiskey were thrown at him from the crowd. The next 3 years saw the club in decline, and managers came and went. Van Gaal was replaced by Lorenzo Serraferrer who, despite an extensive investment in players in the summer of 2000, presided over a mediocre league campaign and a first-round Champions League exit, and was dismissed late in the season. Long-serving Barcelona deputy coach Carles Reixach was appointed as his replacement, initially on a temporary basis, and managed to at least steer the club to the last Champions League spot on the final day of the season against Valencia via an exceptional performance from Rivaldo, who completed arguably the greatest hat-trick in history with an overhead bicycle kick winner in the final minute to secure qualification. Despite better form in La Liga and a good run to the semi-finals of the Champions League, Reixach was never viewed as a long-term solution, and that summer Van Gaal returned to the club for a second spell as manager. What followed, despite another decent Champions League performance, was one of the worst La Liga campaigns in the club's history, with the team as low as 15th in February 2003. This led to Van Gaal's resignation and replacement for the rest of the campaign by Radimir Antai, though a 6th-place finish was the best that he could manage. At the end of the season, Antai's short-term contract was not renewed, and club president Joan Gaspart resigned, his position having been made completely untenable by such a disastrous season on top of the club's overall decline in fortunes since he became president 3 years prior. After the disappointment of the Gaspart era, the combination of a new young president, Joan Laporta, and a young new manager, former Dutch and Milan star Frank Rijkaard, saw the club bounce back. On the field, an influx of international players, including Ronaldinho, Deco, Henrik Larsson, Ludovic Juli, Samuel Eto'o, Rafael Marquez and Edgar Davids, combined with homegrown Spanish players, such as Carlos Puyol, Andrés Iniesta, Xavi, and Victor Valdes, led to the club's return to success. Barcelona won La Liga and the Supercopa de España in 200,405, and Ronaldinho and Eto'o were voted first and third, respectively, in the FIFA World Player of the Year awards. In the 200,506 season, Barcelona repeated their league and Supercopa successes. The pinnacle of the league season arrived at the Santiago Bernabéu in a 30-win over Real Madrid. It was Rijkaard's second victory at the Bernabéu, making him the first Barcelona manager to win there twice. Ronaldinho's performance was so impressive that after his second goal, which was Barcelona's third, some Real Madrid fans gave him a standing ovation. In the Champions League, Barcelona beat the English club Arsenal in the final. Trailing 10 to a 10-man Arsenal and with less than 15 minutes remaining, they came back to win 21, with substitute Henrik Larsson, in his final appearance for the club, setting up goals for Samuel Eto'o and fellow substitute Giuliano Belletti, for the club's first European Cup victory in 14 years. Despite being the favourites and starting strongly, Barcelona finished the 200,607 season without trophies. A pre-season U.S. tour was later blamed for a string of injuries to key players, including leading scorer Eto'o and rising star Lionel Messi. There was open feuding as Eto'o publicly criticized coach Rijkaard and Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho also admitted that a lack of fitness affected his form. In La Liga, Barcelona were in first place for much of the season, but inconsistency in the new year saw Real Madrid overtake them to become champions. Barcelona advanced to the semi-finals of the Copa del Rey, winning the first leg against Getafe 52, with a goal from Messi bringing comparison to Diego Maradona's goal of the century, but then lost the second leg 40. They took part in the 2006 FIFA Club World Cup, but were beaten by late goal in the final against Brazilian side Internacional. In the Champions League, Barcelona were knocked out of the competition in the last 16 by eventual runners-up Liverpool on away goals. Barcelona finished the 200,708 season third in La Liga and reached the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League and Copa del Rey, both times losing to the eventual champions, Manchester United and Valencia, respectively. The day after a 4-1 defeat to Real Madrid, Joan Laporta announced that Barcelona B coach Pep Guardiola would take over Frank Rijkaard's duties on June 30, 2008. Barcelona B youth manager Pep Guardiola took over Frank Rijkaard's duties at the conclusion of the season. Guardiola brought with him the now famous tiki-taka style of play he had been taught during his time in the Barcelona youth teams. In the process, Guardiola sold Ronaldinho and Deco and started building the Barcelona team around Xavi, Andrés Iniesta and Lionel Messi. Barça beat Athletic Bilbao 4-1 in the 2009 Copa del Rey final, winning the competition for a record-breaking 25th time. A historic 26th victory against Real Madrid followed 3 days later and ensured that Barcelona became 200,809 La Liga champions. Barça finished the season by beating Manchester United 20 at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, with goals from Eto'o and Messi, to win their third Champions League title, and complete the first-ever treble won by a Spanish team. The team went on to win the 2009 Supercopa de España against Athletic Bilbao and the 2009 UEFA Super Cup against Shakhtar Donetsk, becoming the first European club to win both domestic and European Super Cups following a treble. In December 2009, Barcelona won the 2009 Club World Cup. Barcelona accomplished 2 new records in Spanish football in 2010 as they retained the La Liga trophy with 99 points and won the Supercopa de España for a 9th time. After Laporta's departure from the club in June 2010, Sandro Rosell was soon elected as the new president. The elections were held on 13th of June, where he got 61.35%, 57,088 votes, a record, of total votes. Rosell signed David Villa from Valencia for $40 million and Javier Mascherano from Liverpool for $19 million. At the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, Barcelona players that had graduated from the club's La Masia youth system would play a major role in Spain becoming world champions. On 11th of July, 7 players who came through the academy participated in the final, 6 of which were Barcelona players whom started the match, with Iniesta scoring the winning goal against the Netherlands. In November 2010, Barcelona defeated their main rival Real Madrid 50 in El Clásico. At the ceremony for the 2010 FIFA Ballon d'Or in December, Barcelona's La Masia became the first youth academy ever to have all 3 finalists for the Ballon d'Or, with Messi, Iniesta and Xavi being named the 3 best players in the world for 2010. In the 201,011 season, Barcelona retained the La Liga trophy, their 3rd title in succession, finishing with 96 points. In April 2011, the club reached the Copa del Rey final, losing 10 to Real Madrid at the Mestalla Stadium in Valencia. In May, Barcelona defeated Manchester United in the 2011 Champions League final 31 held at Wembley Stadium, a repeat of the 2009 final, winning their 4th European Cup. In August 2011, La Masia graduate Cesc Fabregas was bought from Arsenal and he would help Barcelona defend the Spanish Super Cup against Real Madrid. The Super Cup victory brought the total number of official trophies to 73, matching the number of titles won by Real Madrid. Later the same month, Barcelona won the UEFA Super Cup defeating Porto 20 with goals from Messi and Fabregas. This extended the club's overall number of official trophies to 74, surpassing Real Madrid's total amount of official trophies. The Super Cup victory also saw Guardiola win his 12th trophy out of a possible 15 in his 3 years at the helm of the club, becoming the all-time record holder of most titles won as a coach at Barcelona. In December, Barcelona won the Club World Cup for a record second time since its establishment, after defeating 2011 Copa Libertadores holders Santos 40 in the final thanks to 2 goals from Messi and goals from Xavi and Fabregas. As a result, the overall trophy haul during the reign of Guardiola was further extended and saw Barcelona win their 13th trophy out of a possible 16. Considered by some in the sport to be the greatest team of all time, with Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson stating, "They mesmerize you with their passing." Their 5 trophies in 2011 saw them receive the Laureus World Sports Award for Team of the Year. In the 201,112 season, Barcelona lost the semi-finals of the Champions League against Chelsea. Guardiola, who had been on a rolling contract and had faced criticism over his recent tactics and squad selections, announced that he would step down as manager on 30th of June and be succeeded by assistant Tito Vilanova. Guardiola finished his tenure with Barça winning the Copa del Rey Final 30, bringing the tally to 14 trophies that Barça had won under his coaching. It was announced in summer of 2012 that Tito Vilanova, assistant manager at Barcelona, would take over from Pep Guardiola as manager. Following his appointment, Barcelona went on an incredible run that saw them hold the top spot on the league table for the entire season, recording only 2 losses and amassing 100 points. Their top scorer once again was Lionel Messi, who scored 46 goals in La Liga, including 2 hat-tricks. On May 11, 2013, Barcelona were crowned as the Spanish football champions for the 22nd time, still with 4 games left to play. Ultimately, Barcelona ended the season 15 points clear of rivals Real Madrid, despite losing 21 to them at the beginning of March. They reached the semi-final stage of both the Copa del Rey and the Champions League, going out to Real Madrid and Bayern Munich respectively. On 19th of July, it was announced that Vilanova was resigning as Barcelona manager because his throat cancer had returned, and he would be receiving treatment for the second time after a 3-month medical leave in December 2012. On July 22, 2013, Gerardo Tata Martino was confirmed as manager of Barcelona for the 201,314 season. Barcelona's first official games under Martino were home and away legs of the 2013 Supercopa de España, which Barça won 11 on away goals. On January 23, 2014, Sandro Rosell resigned as president by the admissibility of the complaint for alleged misappropriation following the transfer of Neymar. Josep Maria Bartomeu replaced him to finish the term in 2016. On 17th of May, in a game where they needed to defeat Atletico Madrid to be crowned champions of La Liga for the 23rd time, they drew after Atletico defender Diego Godin headed in the equalizer in the 49th minute, giving Atletico the championship. Barcelona won the treble in the 201,415 season, winning La Liga, Copa del Rey and Champions League titles, and became the first European team to have won the treble twice. On 17th of May, the club clinched their 23rd La Liga title after defeating Atletico Madrid. This was Barcelona's 7th La Liga title in the last 10 years. On 30th of May, the club defeated Athletic Bilbao in the Copa del Rey final at Camp Nou. On 6th of June, Barcelona won the Champions League final with a 31 win against Juventus, which completed the treble, the club's second in 6 years. Barcelona's attacking trio of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, dubbed MSN, scored 122 goals in all competitions, the most in a season for an attacking trio in Spanish football history. On 11th of August, Barcelona started the 201,516 season winning a joint record 5th European Super Cup by beating Sevilla 54 in the 2015 UEFA Super Cup. They ended the year with a 30 win over Argentine club River Plate in the 2015 Club World Cup final on 20th of December to win the trophy for a record 3rd time, with Suarez, Messi and Iniesta the top 3 players of the tournament. The Club World Cup was Barcelona's 20th international title, a record only matched by Egyptian club Al Ahly. By scoring 180 goals in 2015 in all competitions, Barcelona set the record for most goals scored in a calendar year, breaking Real Madrid's record of 178 goals scored in 2014. On February 10, 2016, qualifying for the sixth Copa del Rey final in the last 8 seasons, Luis Enrique's Barcelona broke the club's record of 28 consecutive games unbeaten in all competitions set by Guardiola's team in the 2001-2011 season, with a 11 draw with Valencia in the second leg of the 2001-516 Copa del Rey. With a 51 win at Rayo Vallecano on 3 March, Barcelona's 35th match unbeaten, the club broke Real Madrid's Spanish record of 34 games unbeaten in all competitions from the 19,881,989 season. After Barça reached 39 matches unbeaten, their run ended on April 2, 2016 with a 21 defeat to Real Madrid at Camp Nou. On May 14, 2016, Barcelona won their 6th La Liga title in 8 seasons. The front three of Messi, Suarez and Neymar finished the season with 131 goals, breaking the record they had set the previous year for most goals by an attacking trio in a single season. On March 8, 2017, Barcelona made the largest comeback in Champions League history in the 201,617 UEFA Champions League round of 16 seconds leg, defeating Paris Saint-Germain 61. Aggregate score 65, despite losing the first leg in France by a score of 40. On May 29, 2017, former player Ernesto Valverde was named as Luis Enrique's successor, signing a 2-year contract with an option for a further year. On September 20, 2017, Barcelona issued a statement exercising their stance on the 2017 Catalan referendum, saying, FC Barcelona, in holding the utmost respect for its diverse body of members, will continue to support the will of the majority of Catalan people, and will do so in a civil, peaceful, and exemplary way. The match against UD Las Palmas on the referendum day was requested to be postponed by the Barcelona board due to heavy violence in Catalonia, but the request, was declined by La Liga, therefore being held behind closed doors. 2 directors, Jordi Mons and Carles Villarub, handed in their resignations in protest at the games being played. Winning La Liga for the 201,718 season, on May 9, 2018, Barcelona defeated Villarreal 51 to set the longest unbeaten streak, 43 games, in La Liga history. On April 27, 2019, Barcelona won their 26th La Liga title. However, the La Liga title was overshadowed by an improbable Champions League exit to Liverpool in the semi-finals, with Barça losing the second leg 0-4 after being up 30 after a home victory. On January 13, 2020, former Real Betis coach Quique Setién replaced Ernesto Valverde as the new head coach of Barcelona, following the loss to Atletico Madrid in the Spanish Supercup. Barcelona were leading the league when the coronavirus outbreak halted the competition, but their performance fell off and ultimately they lost the league title to Real Madrid on 16 July, with just 1 game to spare. Despite losing out on the league title, there was still hope for the Catalans in the Champions League, as they beat Napoli 31 in the second leg of the round of 16. This meant that they would play Bayern Munich, who beat Chelsea in the round of 16. However, Barça suffered what was described by pundits and fans alike as an absolute humiliation against the German side, losing 28 in the one-legged tie and suffering one of their worst defeats in history. The result meant that Barça failed to reach the Champions League final for the 5th time in a row, once advancing to the semi-finals and being eliminated at the quarter-final stage 4 times. On 17 August, the club confirmed that Setién had been removed from his position as manager, with director of football Eric Abidal also dismissed from his position. 2 days later, Ronald Koeman was appointed as the new head coach of Barcelona. On 27 October, Josep Maria Bartomeu announced his resignation as president and that of the rest of the board of directors. Support. The nickname Cull for a Barcelona supporter is derived from the Catalan cull, English, ars, as the spectators at the first stadium, Camp de la Industria, sat with their culls over the stand. In Spain, about 25% of the population is said to be Barça sympathizers, second behind Real Madrid, supported by 32% of the population. Throughout Europe, Barcelona is the favored second-choice club. The club's membership figures have seen a significant increase from 100,000 in the 200,304 season to 170,000 in September 2009, the sharp rise being attributed to the influence of Ronaldinho and then President Joan Laporta's media strategy that focused on Spanish and English online media. In addition to membership, as of 2015 there are 1,267 officially registered fan clubs, called peñas, around the world. The fan clubs promote Barcelona in their locality and receive beneficial offers when visiting Barcelona. Among the best supported teams globally, Barcelona has the second highest social media following in the world among sports teams, with over 103 million Facebook fans as of December 2017, just behind Real Madrid. The club has had many prominent people among its supporters, including Pope John Paul II, who was an honorary member, and former Prime Minister of Spain Joseph Luis Rodríguez Zapatero. Club rivalries. There is often a fierce rivalry between the two strongest teams in a national league, and this is particularly the case in La Liga, where the game between Barcelona and Real Madrid is known as the Classic. From the start of national competitions, the clubs were seen as representatives of two rival regions in Spain, Catalonia and Castile, as well as of the two cities. The rivalry reflects what many regard as the political and cultural tensions felt between Catalans and the Castilians, seen by one author as a reenactment of the Spanish Civil War. Over the years, the record for Real Madrid and Barcelona is 97 victories for Madrid, 96 victories for Barcelona, and 51 draws. During the dictatorships of Miguel Primo de Rivera, 19,231,930, and especially of Francisco Franco, 19,391,975, all regional cultures were suppressed. All of the languages spoken in Spanish territory, except Spanish, Castilian, itself, were officially banned. Symbolizing the Catalan people's desire for freedom, Barça became more than a club for the Catalans. According to Manuel Vázquez Montalbán, the best way for the Catalans to demonstrate their identity was by joining Barça. It was less risky than joining a clandestine anti-Franco movement, and allowed them to express their dissidence. During Franco's regime, however, the Blaugrana team was granted profit due to its good relationship with the dictator at management level, even giving 2 awards to him. On the other hand, Real Madrid was widely seen as the embodiment of the sovereign oppressive centralism and the fascist regime at management level and beyond. Santiago Bernabéu, the former club president for whom their stadium is named, fought on the nationalist side during the Spanish Civil War. During the Spanish Civil War, however, members of both clubs such as Josep Sunyol and Rafael Sánchez Guerra suffered at the hands of Franco supporters. During the 1950s, the rivalry was exacerbated further when there was a controversy surrounding the transfer of Alfredo Di Stefano, who finally played for Real Madrid and was key to their subsequent success. The 1960s saw the rivalry reach the European stage when they met twice in a controversial knockout round of the European Cup, with Madrid receiving unfavorable treatment from the referee. In 2002, the European encounter between the clubs was dubbed the match of the century by Spanish media, and Madrid's win was watched by more than 500 million people. An intense fixture which is marked by its indiscipline in addition to memorable goal celebrations from both teams often involving mocking the opposition. Such notable celebrations occurred in 2009 when Barcelona captain Carles Puyol kissed his Catalan armband in front of incensed Madrid fans at the Santiago Bernabéu stadium, and in 2017 when Lionel Messi celebrated his 93rd-minute winner for Barcelona against Real Madrid at the Bernabéu by taking off his Barcelona shirt and holding it up to incensed Real Madrid fans with his name and number acing them. Barça's local rival has always been Espanyol. Blanc y Blaus, being one of the club's grand and royal patronage, was founded exclusively by Spanish football fans, unlike the multinational nature of Barça's primary board. The founding message of the club was clearly anti-Barcelona, and they disapprovingly saw FC Barcelona as a team of foreigners. The rivalry was strengthened by what Catalonians saw as a provocative representative of Madrid. Their original ground was in the affluent district of Sarri. Traditionally, Espanyol was seen by the vast majority of Barcelona's citizens as a club which cultivated a kind of compliance to the central authority, in stark contrast to Barça's revolutionary spirit. Also in the 1960s and 1970s, while FC Barcelona acted as an integrating force for Catalonia's new rivals from poorer regions of Spain expecting to find a better life, Espanyol drew their support mainly from sectors close to the regime such as policemen, military officers, civil servants and career fascists. In 1918, Espanyol started a counter-petition against autonomy, which at that time had become a pertinent issue. Later on, an Espanyol supporter group would join the Phalangists in the Spanish Civil War, siding with the fascists. Despite these differences in ideology, the derby has always been more relevant to Espanyol supporters than Barcelona ones due to the difference in objectives. In recent years the rivalry has become less political, as Espanyol translated its official name and anthem from Spanish to Catalan. Though it is the most played local derby in the history of La Liga, it is also the most unbalanced, with Barcelona overwhelmingly dominant. In the Primera División league table, Espanyol has only managed to end above Barça on 3 occasions from 81 seasons, 19,282,016, and the only all-Catalan Copa del Rey final was won by Barça in 1957. Espanyol has the consolation of achieving the largest margin win with a 60 in 1951, while Barcelona's biggest win was 50 on 6 occasions. Espanyol achieved a 21 win against Barça during the 200,809 season, becoming the first team to defeat Barcelona at Camp Nou in their treble-winning season. Barcelona's rival in European football is Italian club AC Milan. The team against which Barcelona has played the most matches, 19, it is also the second most played match in European competitions, tied with Real Madrid-Juventus and both after Real Madrid-Bayern Munich, 24. Two of the most successful clubs in Europe, Milan has won 7 European Cups to Barça's 5, while both clubs have won a record 5 European Super Cups. Barcelona and Milan have won other continental titles, which make them the second and third most decorated teams in world football, with 20 and 18 titles respectively, both behind Real Madrid's 27. Barcelona leads the head-to-head record with 8 wins and 5 defeats. The first encounter between the two clubs was in the 195,960 European Cup. They faced off in the round of 16 and Barça won the tie on a 71 aggregate score. While Milan had never knocked Barcelona out of the European Cup, they beat Johan Cruyff's Dream Team 40 in the 1994 Champions League final, despite being the underdogs. In 2013, however, Barcelona made a historic comeback from a 0-2 first-leg defeat in the round of 16 of the 201,213 Champions League, winning 40 at the Camp Nou. Ownership and finances. Along with Real Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, and Osasuna, Barcelona is organized as a registered association. Unlike a limited company, it is not possible to purchase shares in the club, but only membership. The members of Barcelona, called socis, form an assembly of delegates which is the highest governing body of the club. As of 2016, the club has 140,000 socis. In 2010, Forbes evaluated Barcelona's worth to be around $752 million, $1 billion, ranking them fourth after Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Arsenal, based on figures from the 200,809 season. According to Deloitte, Barcelona had a recorded revenue of $366 million in the same period, ranking second to Real Madrid, who generated $401 million in revenue. In 2013, Forbes magazine ranked Barcelona the third most valuable sports team in the world, behind Real Madrid and Manchester United, with a value of $2.6 billion. In 2014, Forbes ranked them the second most valuable sports team in the world, worth $3.2 billion, and Deloitte ranked them the world's fourth richest football club in terms of revenue, with an annual turnover of $484.6 million. In 2017, Forbes ranked them the fourth most valuable sports team in the world with a team value of $3.64 billion. The world's highest-paid sports team. In November 2018, Barcelona became the first sports team with average first-team pay in excess of 10 meters, $13.8 million, per year. Records. Xavi presently holds the team record for most number of total games played, 767, and the record number of La Liga appearances, 505. Lionel Messi comes second with 747 in all competitions and 497 in the league. Barcelona's all-time highest goal scorer in all competitions, including friendlies, is Lionel Messi with 679 goals, surpassing Paulino Alcantara's record, 369 goals, held for 87 years, as well as being the highest goal scorer in official competitions with 642 goals. He is also the record goal scorer for Barcelona in European, 121 goals, and international club competitions, 126 goals, and the record league scorer with 449 goals in La Liga. Alongside Messi, Four other players have managed to score over 100 league goals for the club: Sarr, 190, Luis Suarez, 147, LSCL Kabala, 131, and Samuel Eto'o, 108. Josep Samitier is the club's highest goal scorer in the Copa del Rey, with 65 goals. LSCL Kabala holds the La Liga record for most goals scored in one match, with 7 goals against Sporting Gijón in 1952. Lionel Messi co-holds the Champions League record with 5 goals against Bayer Leverkusen in 2012. Eulogio Martins became Barça's top goal scorer in a cup game, when he scored 7 goals against Atletico Madrid in 1957. Barcelona goalkeepers have won a record number of Zamora trophies, 20, with Antoni Ramallets and Victor Valdes winning a record 5 each. Valdes had a ratio of 0.832 goals conceded per game, a La Liga record, and he also holds the record for longest period without conceding a goal, 896 minutes, in all competitions for Barcelona. Claudio Bravo has the record of best unbeaten start in a season in La Liga history, at 754 minutes. Barcelona's longest-serving manager is Jack Greenwell, with 9 years and 2 spells, 19,171,924, and 19,311,933, and Pep Guardiola is the club's most successful manager. The most successful Barcelona player is Lionel Messi with 34 trophies, surpassing Andres Iniesta, with 32 trophies. Barcelona's Camp Nou is the largest stadium in Europe. The club's highest home attendance was 120,000 in a European Cup quarter-final against Juventus on March 3, 1986. The modernization of Camp Nou during the 1990s and the introduction of all-seater stands means the record will not be broken for the foreseeable future, as the current capacity of the stadium is 99,354. El Barça Cinc Copes is the first team in Spanish football to have won 5 trophies in a single season, 19,511,952. Barcelona is the only club to have played in every season of European competitions since they started in 1955, counting non-UEFA competition Intercities Fairs Cup. On December 18, 2009, alongside being the only Spanish club to achieve the continental treble, Barcelona became the first ever football team to complete the sextuple. In January 2018, Barcelona signed Philippe Coutinho from Liverpool for €120 million, the highest transfer fee in club's history. In August 2017, Barcelona player Neymar transferred to Paris Saint-Germain for a world record transfer fee of €222 million. In 2016, Barcelona's La Masia was ranked second by the International Center for Sports Studies, CIES, as the most top-level players producing academy in the world. Kits and crest. The club's original crest was a quarter diamond-shaped crest topped by the crown of Aragon and the bat of King James, and surrounded by 2 branches, one of a laurel tree and the other a palm. The club shared Barcelona's coat of arms, as a demonstration of its identification with the city and a desire to be recognized as one. In 1910, the club held the competition among its members to design a new crest. The winner was Carlos Comamala, who at the time played for the club. Comamala's suggestion became the crest that the club wears today, with some minor variations. The crest consists of the St. George cross in the upper left corner with the Catalan flag beside it, and the team colors at the bottom. The blue and red colors of the shirt were first worn in a match against Hispania in 1900. Several competing theories have been put forth for the blue and red design of the Barcelona shirt. The son of the first president, Arthur Whitty, claimed it was the idea of his father, as the colors were the same as the Merchant Taylors' school team. Another explanation, according to author Tony Strubell, is that the colors are from Robespierre's First Republic. In Catalonia, the common perception is that the colors were chosen by Joan Gomper and are those of his home team, FC Basel. The club's most frequently used change colors have been yellow and orange. An away kit featuring the red and yellow stripes of the flag of Catalonia has also been used many times. Since 1998, the club has had a kit deal with Nike. In 2016, the deal was renewed until 2028, for a record $155 million per year, but the contract includes a clause sanctioning penalty or agreement termination anytime if Barcelona fail to qualify for the European competitions or is relegated from La Liga. Kappa. Nike. UNICEF. Qatar Foundation. UNICEF. Qatar Airways. Beko and UNICEF. Rakuten Stadium. Barcelona initially played in the Camp de la Industria. The capacity was about 6,000, and club officials deemed the facilities inadequate for a club with growing membership. In 1922, the number of supporters had surpassed 20,000, and by lending money to the club, Barão was able to build the larger Camp de les Corts, which had an initial capacity of 20,000 spectators. After the Spanish Civil War, the club started attracting more members and a larger number of spectators at matches. This led to several expansion projects: the Grandstand in 1944, the Southern Stand in 1946, and finally the Northern Stand in 1950. After the last expansion, Les Corts could hold 60,000 spectators. After the construction was complete, there was no further room for expansion at Les Corts. Back-to-back La Liga titles in 1948 and 1949 and the signing of LSC Alcabala in June 1950, who would later go on to score 196 goals in 256 matches, drew larger crowds to the games. The club began to make plans for a new stadium. The building of Camp Nou commenced on March 28, 1954, before a crowd of 60,000 Barça fans. The first stone of the future stadium was laid in place under the auspices of Governor Felipe Acedo Colunga and with the blessing of Archbishop of Barcelona Gregorio Madrigo. Construction took 3 years and ended on September 24, 1957 with a final cost of 288 million pesetas, 336% over budget. In 1980, when the stadium was in need of redesign to meet UEFA criteria, the club raised money by offering supporters the opportunity to inscribe their name on the bricks for a small fee. The idea was popular with supporters, and thousands of people paid the fee. Later this became the center of controversy when media in Madrid picked up reports that one of the stones was inscribed with the name of longtime Real Madrid chairman and Franco supporter Santiago Bernabeu. In preparation for the 1992 Summer Olympics, 2 tiers of seating were installed above the previous roofline. It has a current capacity of 99,354, making it the largest stadium in Europe. There are also other facilities, which include honors. In 2015, Barcelona received the 9 Values Cup, an award of the International Children's Social Program Football for Friendship players. Spanish teams are limited to 3 players without EU citizenship. The squad list includes only the principal nationality of each player. Several non-European players on the squad have dual citizenship with an EU country. Also, players from the ACP countries that are signatories to the Cotonou Agreement are not counted against non-EU quotas due to the Colpac ruling. Note: flags indicate national team is defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Note: flags indicate national team is defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Note: flags indicate national team is defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players may hold more than one non-FIFA nationality. Personnel. Last updated, 29th of August 2020. Source: FC Barcelona, Management. Last updated, 27th of October 2020. Source: FC Barcelona,